Now, court's decision that seemed to be dealing the government blow after blow. Public participation once again takes center stage in this latest move, with the attempts by the government to get funds to push their development agenda hitting a dead end in the corridors of justice. Also tonight, it is a town that has birthed champions. Tonight, it becomes a city. All that on Evening Edition. My name is Brian Amwai, but first, the highlights. Tonight, High Court issues orders barring EPRA from enforcing the new road maintenance levy fund, which was hiked from 18 to 25 Kenya shillings per litre of fuel, declaring it unconstitutional.
Transparent engagement. We all know to run a government, you need to have a measure of taxation, all right? But it's how you go about it and what you do with those taxes.
Kenyans do not have a problem with introduction of new taxes, with the key concern being accountability, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka maintains. Also tonight, Kenya's Olympic medalist awarded cash prizes, with President William Ruto promising to strengthen facilities for athletes' wellness and improve the country's performance in the future. And Inspector General of Police nominee Douglas Kanja admits to gaps in police response to the invasion of Parliament during the Gen Z demos. Thank you once again for making time for us and trusting us to bring you up to date with the news-making headlines across the country. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Walter Asewe. And remember, you can be part of the program by engaging us on our socials. At Amwai Brian, that is on X, at K24 TV, across social media platforms. We'll be sampling your feedback as we continue with the program tonight. Let's begin. Now, the city of champions, Eldoret, is Kenya's newest city after President William Ruto officially handed over a city charter to the town, making it the country's 5th city. Now, President Ruto, in his speech, expressed his delight in upgrading urban centers in the country that has seen his administration set aside 1.3 billion shillings for the same. Later, after the conferment, Ruto addressed residents of Eldoret, where he railed against demonstrations that hit Eldoret, his home turf, during the Gen Z demos. Timothy Simo now reports.
At the Eldoret Sports Club, President William Ruto presided over the signing of the charter that conferred official city status to Eldoret. Simply, Eldoret is the new kid on the block in the ranks of Kenyan cities led by the capital Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu and Nakuru. The ceremony religiously observed the traditions of conferment, marked with performances from various groups to entertain leaders and thousands who attended the historical event. The function also involved recognition of residents whose immense contribution led to the growth of the town, including businessmen and women, athletes, farmers and civil servants.
The new city must also foster an economic environment which provides opportunities and a business climate that rewards enterprises which bring their investment into this great town.
The president using the occasion to underscore his administration plans to upgrade urban centers in the country as part of his socio-economic transformation agenda.
The Kenya Urban Support Program, Phase 2, which represents a cumulative investment of US dollars 1.35 billion, aimed at creating livable cities. And I want to declare that Eldoret will be among the beneficiaries of this fund.
Ruto also spoke against land fragmentation in Eldoret, which he reckons will stifle urban planning and development.
That it is time for us to stop the land fragmentation that is going on, so that we can save land, agricultural land, for agricultural productivity, so that we can ensure that we have food security in our country.
Earlier, the county government of Uasin Gishu was forced to remove athlete statues that had been erected within the CBD, following a backlash from Kenyans online who despised and made fun of their quality.
Hizo sio picha za wakimbiaji wetu. Hizo ni picha zingine za ajabu sana, hata haionyeshi reflection ya mtu kama Asbel Kiprop.
The elevation to city status has received mixed reactions, with some residents opining the time was nigh for the conferment, as others think it was a rushed process.
To my brothers Indians, those who are thinking of migrating to other places in Africa or to Europe, they should rethink, because over here now we will have great opportunities for them to invest and to do their business, and in terms they will create jobs for the Gen Zs.
Later, after the ceremony, Ruto made his way to the CBD and expressed his disappointment in the anti-government demonstrations that rocked Eldoret on the 25th of June.
Ni kweli ama si kweli jameni? Hii Eldoret nilisikia ati kulikuwa na fujo hapa. Ati kuna watu wanataka kuchoma hii Eldoret. Hawa watu wa kuchoma hii city washindwe kabisa. Ama mnasemaje watu wa Eldoret? Mnataka hii town ichomeke?
According to the head of state, the demos were destructive and Eldoret residents should never allow similar events to occur again, given the president's hometown is now a city. Timothy Simwa, K24 TV.
All right, away from that, now with Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi keen on reinstating some certain sections of the Finance Bill 2024, which he termed as progressive, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka now says the key concern is not the introduction of the taxes, but accountability. Dazian Keitani now files, the former vice president also hinted at the Azimio Council, which includes former President Uhuru Kenyatta holding a meeting to deliberate on recent political realignments.
After taking over reins of power, Treasury CS John Mbadi hinted at working on reinstating some sections of the Finance Bill 2024 back to Parliament, a bill that was dropped by President William Ruto due to relentless pressure from Gen Z protesters. His sentiments were echoed by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, who termed the lack of accountability for the taxes collected as the main concern.
The important thing is what Gen Zs and millennials and Kenyans expect is transparent engagement. We all know to run a government, you need to have a measure of taxation, all right? But it's how you go about it and what you do with those taxes.
Kalonzo, however, slammed President William Ruto over what he termed as not allowing cabinet secretaries to work independently.
So the effective Minister for Finance is not John Mbadi, it's William Ruto. Because he will micromanage those ministries.
With the speculation rife over looming fallout within the opposition coalition, Kalonzo hinted at former President Uhuru Kenyatta convening a meeting to deliberate on recent political developments.
Hivi karibuni hata chairperson wa Azimio Summit ambaye ni mheshimiwa ambaye amestaafu Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, nadhani ataitisha kikao ili tujadiliane mambo haya kiwaziwazi.
Just a few days after insisting on taking over the leadership of the opposition, following Raila Odinga's decision to work with President William Ruto, Kalonzo, who has been slammed in recent past over failure to stand his ground, noted that he's ready to sit with Raila Odinga and deliberate on what next for the coalition.
You see, we must continue to engage with Raila Odinga. Is as we speak, the leader of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition. There's no way we will not engage with him going forward, and so that is to be expected.
The former vice president, however, declined to comment on who played what role in the run-up to the former premier working with President Ruto, amid blame games on why Odinga decided to work with Kenya Kwanza.
David, ask John Mheshimiwa Jeremiah Kioni that question. Ask Raila that question. If you're able to reach President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, ask him that question. Yeah. And they might give you some very interesting answers.
Kalonzo was speaking during the Africa Youth Summit 2024 organized by Oslo Center, a meeting aimed at empowering and engaging the youth in constructive dialogue that inspires change, with the Oslo Center chairperson Fine Jari Road calling for the involvement of the youth in decision-making.
Youth Assembly, which is an activity done by the Oslo Center in Kenya and beyond. It's an awarded program that we are very proud of to do in Kenya. It was awarded by the President of France in 2019.
Ian Keitani, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Now, thank you, Ian Ketani, for that particular report. Away from that, the High Court has halted the government's decision to increase the road maintenance levy by 7 shillings. Now, George Odhiambo Juma moved to court, challenging the decision, to increase the levy, arguing that no meaningful public participation had been conducted. Now, the High Court suspended the increase pending the hearing and determination of the case. Lack of public participation is once again playing out in the corridors of justice, with the court suspending the move to increase the road maintenance levy. The ruling follows an uproar from the public owing to the government's decision to increase the levy from 18 shillings to 25 shillings per litre of fuel. According to the government, the increase, which was effected in July, was aimed at boosting the road's maintenance kitty, thereby increasing the fee by 39%. Before that, RMLF had not been revised since 2016. The government argued the delay revising the RMLF had caused 727 billion road maintenance backlog. Former Transport CS Kipchumba Murkomen gazetted the levy on July 10, 2024, a day after he assured Kenyans that the overwhelming concerns from Kenyans during the public participation stage would be considered.
How do we increase the 7 shillings without increasing 7 shillings at the pump? What can the government cushion? What cost that makes the petroleum higher we can do away with, okay? And the difference, the benefit that comes to that difference, we can transfer to the roads without increasing the current fuel pumps up.
Kenya National Highways Authority, KENHA, revealed this week that the RMLF levy itself is not enough to repair the roads and announced the probability of introducing tolls on major roads. The authority listed Thika Superhighway, Nairobi Southern Bypass, among others. The latest move follows the decision by the court to declare the Finance Act 2023 unconstitutional. In the act, there was an increase in the VAT on fuel, which was increased from 8% to 16%, with the ripple effect being the high cost of living and the rise in the cost of fuel. The 16% VAT on fuel increased the cost of fuel by 12 shillings. At the moment, the price of fuel is as follows. Super petrol is retailing at 188.84 shillings, diesel at 171 shillings, and kerosene now retailing at 161 shillings in Nairobi. EPRA say the prices are inclusive of the 16% value-added tax in line with the provisions of the Finance Act 2023, the Tax Laws Amendment Act 2020, and the revised rates for the excise duty adjusted for inflation per legal notice number 194 of 2020. With the Finance Act out of the picture, the prices essentially should have dropped to super petrol at 176, diesel at 154, and kerosene at 149.75 in Nairobi. The latest move by the courts on matters road maintenance levy means that fuel prices should drop by 7 shillings if at all the court orders are implemented. This means super petrol should now retail at 169 shillings, diesel at 147 and kerosene at 142.75 in Nairobi. A breakdown of the taxes is as follows. Excise duty tax is at 21 shillings. Road maintenance levy is at 25 shillings. Import declaration levy is at 26 shillings. Petroleum development levy is at 5.40 shillings. Petroleum regulatory levy is at 75 cents. Railway development levy is at 1 shilling. And value added tax is at 26 shillings. Now, Kenyan athletes who won medals at the 33rd Summer Olympic Games were today feted by President William Ruto for their efforts. Now, gold medalists took home 3 million, with silver medalists bagging 2 million, and bronze medal winners taking home 1 million shillings each. Gladys Midecha now reports.
After landing at the Eldoret International Airport, the athletes who flew Kenya's flag at the just concluded Olympic Games in Paris were received by various leaders, including Uasin Gishu Governor Jonathan B., Elgeyo Marakwet Governor Wellesley Rotich, and MP Oscar Sudi. Outside the airport, it was a warm welcome of song, joy, and dance. The Kenyan heroes then joined a convoy that headed to Eldoret town, where they were received by hundreds of fans. The next stop was the Eldoret State Launch, where President William Ruto received Team Kenya. Kenya Kenya was represented by 83 athletes in the 33rd edition games and had a rich representation in athletics from Eliud Kipchoge to Ferdinand Omanyala and other sports including the Kenya Sevens rugby team and the women's volleyball team Malkia Strikers. Kenya managed to scoop 11 medals, 4 gold, 2 silver and 5 bronze.
An Olympic champion. It is here in Eldoret that the heart of Kenya's athletic success beats strongest. And it is here that we reaffirm our commitment to nurturing the next generation of champions. As we celebrate both our Olympic champions and the birth of the City of Champions, let us remember that we are all part of this incredible journey. Together, we will continue to soar to new heights, for Kenya is and always will be the land of champions.
The highlight of the ceremony was awarding of the athletes. The Olympian gold winners, Beatrice Chebet, who won double gold in the 10,000 and 5,000 meters, Faith Kipyegon retaining her 1,500 meter crown, and Olympic champion in the 800 meters, Emmanuel Wanyonyi, each received 3 million.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for the warm welcome. We are really truly grateful. Tumeona tumekaribishwa. Watu walikuwa niliulizwa na chef jana, uliona Botswana venye walikaribishwa, nikasema acha tungoje yetu asubuhi. And this is it. So we are really grateful. At least to motivate kama elite athletes, especially I, defending title for the third time, back to back. That was not an easy task. Najua nimemotivate Faith hapo. Bado ni mdogo, she was our last one.
Silver medalist winners Faith Kipyegon and Ronald Kemoi were awarded 2 million shillings each, while world champion in the women's 800 meters race Mary Moraa, Abraham Kibiwot, Faith Cherotich, Benson Kipruto and Helen Obiri each received 1 million shillings for their bronze medals.
Depending on runners. Other countries, why they are reaping so much gold, they have many other things. We don't understand why we don't have people who can just shoot. There was a Turkish guy who was just standing there, he doesn't even wear anything, and he's just, yeah? Even archery, we should be able to participate. And we know where the problem is, Your Excellency. It's in the leadership of the federations. Most of the federations are not organized. And as a ministry, we want to promise that the federation for swimming, for badminton, for these archeries and all this, we are going to call them, we organize them, we support them, so that in 4 years we have more disciplines participating in the next Olympics.
Gladys Midacha, K24 TV.
Right, of course, that is the new, that is the Cabinet Secretary for Sports promising something different, and of course, you are hoping to see a difference when it comes to representation in the next competitions. All right, we take a break here on the program. We'll be back in a minute with more.
Cheza kama wewe na cheza sita. Ushinde hadi mara 5,000 ya beti yako teke teke. Yes, and it's that